Welcome. My name is Jennifer Medina, the Professional Learning Events and Programs Coordinator at Shape America. Today, I'll be demonstrating how to submit a research symposium proposal for the 2025 Shape America National Convention and Expo in Baltimore, Maryland, on the Shape America website. All research symposium proposals must be submitted online through the submission site by the deadline of Thursday, August 6, 2024 at 11:59 p.m. Pacific Time. To access the website, you can type in your search engine Shape America and click the link. So I'll go ahead and do that. Once you're on the Shape America website, you can access the proposal in two ways. As you can see, the first home slide has the call for proposals now open on it. So you can access it by clicking on that, or you can go to the Events and Conferences tab and select National Convention and Expo. It will bring you to this page. So you will scroll down and select Submitted Proposal. This will bring you to the Call for Proposals page. So once you're on the page, it's important to take a moment to look over the page and familiarize yourself with it. Please take the time to go over the resources here on the right. So as you can see, one of the resources are the FAQs. I'll go ahead and open that up so that you can see what it looks like. Frequently asked questions document. So if you have questions, most of them can be answered through this document. The next document is the submitting a competitive proposal. I'll go ahead and open that up as well. As you can see, it's a document with some tips on how to get your proposal seen and accepted. Please note that the call for proposals open July 9th and closes August 6th. And then also, if you look on this right-hand side, you can see promoted content sessions. So please note that through our proposal site, it's intended for educator or researcher-led proposals, not promoted products. Promoted products should be submitted at this blue link here on the right as promoted content sessions, not through our proposals normal form of submission. So I'll go ahead and read this for you. Session submissions through the call for proposals are intended to be educator or researcher-led and may not be used to promote products, services, or resources from a specific entity, including those that may be offered free of charge. Corporate and nonprofit organizations that wish to lead an activity-based or presentation-based session during the 2025 Shape America National Convention and Expo have the opportunity to do so through a promoted content session. If you would like more information on what entitles a promoted content session, you may do so by selecting this link here. And also please note that promoted content sessions, there are sponsorship fees that apply to them. Also, if you have any questions and would like to contact us for general or attendance questions, you may do so through the education@shapeamerica.org. For questions about convention programs or proposals, you may do so at proposals@shapeamerica.org. For inquiries about the exhibit hall or promoted content sessions, you may do so at exhibits@shapeamerica.org. For information about how to become a sponsor, please email sponsors@shapeamerica.org. And for information about convention advertising, you may email advertising@shapeamerica.org. All righty. Shape America is seeking high quality proposals that will be delivered through an equity, diversity, and inclusion lens and address a full range of issues facing health and physical educators, administrators, and other key stakeholders as they seek to put all children on the path to health and physical literacy. In order to submit your session, please complete the following steps. Let's go ahead and get started. So to submit your session, please complete these steps. Step 1, please make sure that all authors, co-authors, presenters, speakers, planners, anyone who will be part of this presentation should read and review and agree with our presenter agreement. I'll go ahead and open that up so you can see what it looks like. It looks like this. So in order to submit a proposal for Shape America, you must review and agree to this as well as terms and conditions. Step 2 is to review the submission categories to ensure you've identified the appropriate category and subcategory, if applicable, for your presentation. Step 3 is to review the appropriate submission guide to ensure you understand the information that will be necessary for your proposal. Please note that these proposal types are designed to be educator or research-led sessions. If you are a corporate nonprofit organization that wishes to lead an activity based on presentation-based sessions during our national convention, it must be submitted as a promoted content session. Alrighty, and then here are some resources depending on what kind of proposals you would like to submit. Now to begin, let's go ahead and start our proposal. Alrighty, so you should now see the call for submissions page. Notice on the right side, there's a box that allows you to view, resume, edit, or withdraw a submission by typing in your presentation ID number and password. Please note that you will receive an email with your presentation ID number and password once you submit a presentation title. That means that once you start your proposal submission, once you complete the first step of the submission process on that site, you will automatically get an email with this information. This information will also be available on your confirmation email once you have successfully submitted your proposal. At the top of the page, you can see different drop-down tabs that describe the overview of information that we'll be providing throughout your proposal submission, such as title, email, description. Also, please make sure that prior to starting your proposal, that you have all of your co-authors, um, name, email, affiliation, information, abstract information, description, and all of that. It just makes the process easier, and you are allowed to copy and paste into the boxes and text boxes as you fill this out. Okay. To submit a new research symposium proposal, you must select the Begin a Submission button here at the bottom. It's the third one. You will wait for the countdown to be directed to the member login page. If you already have an account, enter your credentials. If you do not, we invite you to create a free profile that gives us a try. You do not need to be a member to submit a proposal, but you do need to create an account. If you have any questions or concerns, please call Member Services at 800-213-7193, extension 1490, or email Member Services at membership@shapeamerica.org. So first you have to insert your credentials. So I will go ahead and do that. Bear with me. And then my password. Select sign in. Okay. So at this point, if you have followed the previous steps on the original submission site, all speakers should have read the presenter agreement, terms, and conditions. Reminder, all presenters must review these items prior to continuing with submission of your proposal. So once you've all agreed, select I have read and agreed to the terms and conditions. Make sure you read the instructions as you go along. As you can see, the first box is for you to type in your session title. So I will be kind of shorthanding these fields as we go along, just so that I can show you what each section looks like. So I'm gonna go ahead and put testing, title, video. Also, I will go ahead and skip one of the options below so that you can see what an error message will look like once we submit this first step so that you can know what that looks like as well. Okay, so your submitter email has automatically populated into this field here. Please note you cannot edit or delete this email. And the submitter email, again, gets that email that allows you to go back and make changes to your proposal if you decide to later on. So make sure that you do have access to this email. This email is associated with your Shape America membership account. So that's why you can't really make changes to it. Next is your IRB approval or exemption. Research papers must have appropriate IRB approval or exception to be eligible for presentation at convention. So I'll go ahead and type in my name here. All righty. And that's how you can complete that step. Next is your description. You will need to provide in 150 words or less the theme and an overview of your abstract. This description will be used on the online program guide. Do not list presenters or other participants here. Their information will be included based on the other information you complete throughout this process. So again, I am going to type something in just because I want to make sure that you can see what all the fields look like. Alrighty. So next is your category, which earlier I showed you what they were. So you can go ahead and select the one that best goes with your content and your proposal. Okay. Next, select your AV equipment that you will need for your presentation. Please note the Shaper Mark does not provide CD or DVD players, extension cords, laptops, or laser pointers. So if you need all three, select all three, or no equipment, or just one. It depends on your AV equipment needs. And then is the question, if AV equipment was unavailable for your presentation, would you be able to adjust your session to accommodate lack of AV? So you could say yes or no. And then is the question of room setup. Will it be theater, roundtable, or activity? We do include these little descriptions to give you a better idea of what that means. And also that way you can decide to select the best option for your room setup. As mentioned earlier, I want to leave something blank so you can see the error. So I'm going to go ahead and do that with the description. I'm going to clear it. I'm going to select save. And there you go. You see the error. It will be in this little red box that says there is an error below. You will scroll down, and as you can see, it highlighted it for me and told me what is missing. So I went ahead and included that, and I'm going to go ahead and select save. Please make sure that throughout this whole process, even if you go back and make changes, that you're always selecting that save option. Otherwise, those changes will not show. As you can see, you cannot move forward, but you can move back by selecting these tabs up top. All right. So now that we've gone through that, let's go on to step 2. So in order to move on to step 3, you need at least one planner and one presenter. For Symposium, there's usually more than one presenter. So it's important to note that only planners are not listed in the online scheduler program or mobile app. So if you are a planner and you would be like to be listed on the mobile app or online program or scheduler, please make sure that you're selecting both planner and presenter. Otherwise, it will not show. And also, please always check the database to see if you or your co-authors are already in the database. Um, as I'll demonstrate here. And then this is a symposium, so you have to include their presentation. So I'm going to do this one. And then select search to search a database for that individual. I am in the system, so I'm going to go ahead and select myself. And as you can see, I have to I usually do this part second. I usually add all my individuals first, so I'll do it in that order, but you can do it in either order. But I usually add all my authors first by using this add new person. And then I go in and I fill out their presentation information and include their abstract text. So both of these are red, so that means I cannot move forward. So in order to move forward, all of my presenters' presentation and abstract text have to be included with the green check mark to move forward. So I will show you that in a minute. But first, I'm going to go ahead and add a second author. So I will go ahead and show you that now. So I'm gonna go ahead and add another individual. And again, symposiums, everyone should have their own abstract title. So this individual is also in the system. Okay, so now both individuals show up here. As you can see here, you can use these arrows to move the order of which would be presenting. So if Chastity goes prior to Jennifer, you will use these arrows to edit that. Just make sure you're always hitting save on this page. You can also delete people or make edits to their abstract or information. Okay. All right. So please note that a planner for submission receives all communication for the session from Shape America and is responsible for communicating that information with all of the listed presenters. Please make sure your planner and presenters are aware of the planner responsibilities. Only planners can request changes for your proposal or session. The difference between an abstract submission and a symposium submission is that a symposium requires each author to have his or her own presentation and own abstract text. The research symposium model is set up to collect individual author and abstract details in a unique format. When selecting an author or presenter, type that presenter's correspondence abstract presentation and presentation title under Enter Presentation Title. You will need to associate an abstract or presentation title for each author. After entering an author and corresponding abstract title, you will have to enter additional information associated with that abstract by clicking on the title of the abstract, then clicking on the icon under abstract text. And by that I mean basically where these X's are, you need to include information individually for that particular author, for that particular author's text, and abstract information. And we will do that in a minute. Let me just finish informing you with some information. The red X will change to a check mark once the necessary information has been provided. All authors must include their own presentation and abstract text. You will repeat this process for all authors and abstracts associated with this symposium. And then, of course, before adding a new name, search the database. And if the individual you're looking for is not found, you may enter a new name and input their information. So I'll go ahead and show you what that looks like. And then I will fill out the required fields so that we may move on. So I'll go ahead and do that now. So I'm going to go ahead and add someone who is not in the system. Select their title. As you can see, this individual is not in the system, so you will need to fill out their information. And the required fields are their first name, their last name, their affiliation, and their email address. So you must fill that out in order to add them as well if they're already not in our system, which is why it's important to have all of your co-presenters or co-authors information prior to beginning your submission. Now, I'm not going to go ahead and add this individual. I'm just going to go back. So I'm going to select people and go back. Alrighty, so the next will be to fill out both authors' information. So the first one is the same. So you will need to fill out the terms and conditions. They will need to agree to the terms and conditions and presenters agreement. They would include their own abstract title. The submitter email will still populate the same. They will need to also be IRB approved. So I will go ahead and input that. And also include their description. So I'm going to go ahead and do that as well. And their category, their preferred type of presentation. You may include all session formats in which you're willing to present for your research. So you can select more than one if you want, or just one. Again, you will need to certify that this research has not and will not be presented prior to the 2025 Shape America National Convention and Expo, and that it was not accepted from a publication at that time. Again, review and agree to the RQS supplement. And then it asks if that specific presenter is in need of a visa invitation letter or not. So you will indicate that here so that we may provide one. And then also request for consideration for a graduate student. And if you select yes, please include their name and information here. Select save. And now you will see that it has that green check mark. I like to go in order. So next will be that same individual's abstract text information. So you will need to fill out the background or purpose, the method, the analysis or results, and the conclusion. Your abstract text should be 500 words or less. Make sure that you do not include your abstract title or author list here because they will be incorporated using the data we have already provided. You can copy your text from a document and paste it, and you can type directly into the box. But just always make sure you select save and continue. Again, I am just trying to show you what this looks like. So I am going to just include some information so that I may proceed to the next step. Always make sure you select that save and continue. Otherwise, it will not save that information and you will not get that check mark. So as you can see, the first individual is done. I'm gonna go ahead and do the exact same steps for the second individual. Again, the category, what type, agree to publication, RQAS, do we need a visa, and graduate, and select save. And wait for it. Yep, there's that green check. And then next is the abstract test. Again, 500 words or less. Just need to, that way I can show you what the next step looks like. And again, always make sure you select save and continue. Okay, so once you have successfully added everyone and their information and their own presentation information and abstract information and their abstract text, and then you have all green check marks, then you may see this button here that says extended description, which is the next step. So now that I see it, I'm gonna go ahead and select it. And this brings me to the extended description. The extended description is used by the Research Council during the evaluation process and can be different than the program description you listed earlier. There is a limit of 500 words, and it should include the main points, objectives, or goals of your proposed program. Again, do not list presenter or planner names here. Just like the abstract, you can copy and paste from a document into the box or type directly in it. Always select save. So again, I am just going to add some wording in here so that we may move on to the next step. Save and continue. Okay, so for the last step, please proofread what you have entered before selecting submit at the bottom of the page. If you need to make any changes, you may do so by clicking the appropriate steps on the top control panel that you see here in orange in the above tabs. Make sure you select the submit button under the last step or we will not have your completed submission in our database. So I'm gonna go ahead and select submit because I reviewed it. It looks great. Okay. So once you have clicked submit at the top of the page, it will state your session has been received. This means that you have successfully submitted your proposal. If you do not see this, then that means you have yet to successfully submit your proposal. Make sure you select that submit button at the bottom of the page. The system will automatically generate a confirmation email to the listed submitter's email when you have successfully completed your proposal submission. Please note the confirmation email only goes to the listed submitter on this session or this proposal. The two forms of confirmation will inform you that you have successfully submitted your proposal. You will also see an orange print this page at the top of the page here so that you may print it or save it so that you have a copy of your submission for your records. On the column on this left-hand side, you have the option to view or withdraw your submission or submit another proposal if you're interested and log out as well. If you do not see the left column, you may select, here I'll show you these three lines here, and then you'll be able to see that column. Okay, so remember that if you want to log back into this proposal, you may reference the email that you received upon submission initiation or your confirmation email with that information to do so. If at any time you have any questions regarding proposals, please email proposals@shapeamerica.org or call Shape America at 703-476-3400. Thank you for supporting Shape America and sharing your presentations with the Shape America community.